Hi everyone, here's another Turn Cheat Engine Cheats into Python scripts video, and this time we're showing how using my new process interface script we're going to be able to read and write values from multi-level pointers, and I'm going to show exactly how that is going to work. So the process interface script I kind of went over in my last video on reading and writing float values, which if you want to know how to do that, see my previous video. So I'm not going to really go into how this process interface works. It's something you can import, and it's got a class you can instantiate, and this class allows you to read and write memory of a process. And so the way I'm going to demonstrate multi-level pointers, which, by the way, about this script is it's on my GitHub page. I'm going to link this in the video description. So what we're going to do is complete step 8 of the tutorial of Cheat Engine, which is on multi-level pointers. So I'm going to then take that, put it into Python, complete this tutorial using nothing but Python. Of course, I'm using Cheat Engine to actually find the stuff, but once I've found them, I can put them into Python. So that's kind of the whole point of this. It's what you guys are here for. So we have found the tutorial executable already. So what we have to do is look for this value here, which is an integer, 3742. So I'm going to do 4 bytes, 3742 for scan. So we have this value here. Now this is a multi-level pointer, so this address is going to change, and we have to find the whole pointer path. And the way we do that, find out what accesses this address. Then I'm going to change a value here. There we go. So I'm going to stop this, double click here. So now we've got the offset and we've got the pointer value. Now you'll want to do your best to understand sort of how this whole pointer logic works really before getting too far in this video, because it's it might not make sense if you don't know how multi-level pointers work. So I'm going to kind of go through this fast just because I'm going to assume that you know that or have already researched it. So I'm going to copy this easy guess to the clipboard. I'm going to leave this window open so I can look at the offset. New scan, hex, paste that in. So we've got 2 different ones here. I'm just going to copy one of them, find out what accesses this address. Okay, so that was the wrong one. So delete that. Find out what accesses. Okay. So this one has no offset, but it has this address here, so I'm going to do new scan. Find out what accesses this address. Okay, this one has an offset of 18. And let's see what this one's offset is. 10. And this is the address we want to search for. Okay, so we found a static address. So the way we would put this in as a pointer in a cheat engine, I'm going to take the executable name plus this address here, which results in that. I'm going to make it a pointer, so actually I got to paste it here. So our offsets for the pointer we know were 10, 18, 0, and 18. So 10, 18, 0, 18. There, 3970. So we've successfully set up the whole chain of pointers. And now we want to move this into Python. So the only actual address we need to copy is this here. Or we could copy this thing, but I've broken it up in the script, which you'll see here. So I've already done this for a previous iteration here. So 306B00. So I've put that in as the sort of base address here. I'm going to close these now that I've created the pointer. So now if we look at the pointer itself, we have 10, 18, 0, 18. So how does this work? So I have the base address, I have the base static pointer address that I'm building here. So it's a uint64 because this is a 64-bit application. So its addresses are 64 bits. You can tell because this is, I believe this is longer than 64 bits, but yeah, it is because there's 9 digits here. So I'm creating a cuint64 of the base address plus this pointer address that we found, which results in this final address here. So now we're finding the first pointer value. So we're reading the memory using my process interface class. We're reading the memory at this static address with a buffer size of 8 because 64 bits uses 8-byte addresses. And I'm actually getting just the value out of this cuint64. Now this is from ctypes, and it just allows me to read in an unsigned 64-bit integer. So now it's kind of an iterative process. So we've got the first link in the chain. So we've gotten to this part here. No, this part here. So we're going to get this, we're going to read this address, which is stored at this memory, and that is stored into here. Then we're going to add 10 hexadecimal to that address, put it into a new C unsigned int64 object, and we're passing that into read memory as the address with a buffer size of 8 again because it's 64-bit. So once we read that in, so we're taking this plus 10 and the value at that address is here. So remember our next offset is 18, then 0, then 18 again. So we have 18, we have 0, we have 18 again. So now we have our final value. Because the last link in this chain here is the end of this pointer chain. So at this point we're going to print out that final value. So it's going to print 3970. And then the whole point of this tutorial is to keep that value frozen at 5000 despite this whole pointer path changing. So we have to go through this whole pointer path over and over, grab the final address, and in this case, instead of reading the memory there, instead of reading this memory, we're actually writing this memory, and the value we're writing to it is an unsigned 32-bit integer whose value is 5000. And because this is 4 bytes, 32-bit integer is 4 bytes, we don't need to set the buffer size. And same with up here, we didn't need to set the buffer size because an unsigned 32-bit integer is 4 bytes. So we're going to write 5000, wait 100th of a second just to not throttle my CPU too much. And then we're just repeating that. We're going through the whole pointer chain, getting the final address out here, and then writing 5000 to it. And so what we need to do is run the script, and then I'm going to click change pointer here, and then my script is going to just allow us to immediately complete this tutorial. So let's run it here. So we've read the address 3970. We've read the value at that address 3970. So now we're in this loop. So I'm going to change the pointer. And there we go. We've completed it. So we successfully wrote the value, and read the value of a multi-level pointer using Cheat Engine, using this process interface script, which I'm going to put in the description. Thanks for watching.